But today, I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pace up, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Same us for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
You know I'm always honest, there ain't no way I'll never stop it.
I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top,
I'm always flirting with pain, she like to hurt me and maim. I'm always working to change, but she's still lurking the same. I keep on building a dynasty while the haters be trying me, but they hate from inside.
Good afternoon, and welcome back to another episode of Unscripted here on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. Joined as always by Jason. I don't know where he went for a second there, McLovin, but today is Free Agent Frenzy. So, Jason, how are things going for you? I know the Dallas Cowboys have kind of gotten off to a little bit of a slow start for you in free agency, but other than that, what's going on?
What's going on? I'll tell you, I don't have a running back. I can tell you that. Pollard is now signed on with the Titans, and we have nobody other than Vaughn and Dwaddle, however you say that guy's name. So we have nobody. So it's not going too well. A lot of other teams are making a lot of moves. Let's talk about Baltimore just for a minute. You know, we now have gotten word that Derrick Henry is talking with Baltimore, and I just don't know how that makes good sense for him, because they've already got kind of a crowded backfield over there. You already got a running quarterback over there. How would that benefit him more than, let's just say, Dallas, for example, who has nobody, and he would be the featured back?
Well, because Gus Edwards left Baltimore on a 2-year deal. Gus Edwards went to – where did he go? Gus Edwards went to the Chargers, so he's basically going there to replace Austin Eckler. So that takes one running back out of Baltimore's rotation. J.K. Dobbins is coming back from the torn Achilles, I believe, so we don't know how J.K. Dobbins is going to be towards the beginning of the year. You have that Keaton Mitchell who tore his ACL in Week 14 last year, so he's obviously not going to be ready for the start of the season. So right now, pretty much, if J.K. Dobbins is healthy, obviously he's going to be ready to go, but other than that, Baltimore really doesn't have a clear picture of what their running back room is going to look like right now. So at least bringing in Derrick Henry, you know he's going to be healthy, and you know he's going to be able to stabilize that running back room. But this is not actually as surprising to me as it might be to you, because Derrick Henry was rumored to be going to Baltimore a couple of years ago before the Titans gave him that extension. And the main reason for it was Baltimore wants to try to run that wildcat with Derrick Henry.
Right.
And we've seen how valuable Lamar Jackson is when it comes to running a wildcat. You put him with Derrick Henry and run that same kind of wildcat look, defenses aren't going to know how to defend that, because you're not going to know who has the ball. You have obviously the best running quarterback in NFL history in Lamar Jackson. You have one of the best running backs that the NFL's seen in quite some time in Derrick Henry. It's going to be a nightmare for teams to defend, and for a league that is so pass happy now and pass friendly now, you add Derrick Henry to that Baltimore offense, that's going to be kind of like that late 90s, early 2000 look where it's a ground and pound team as opposed to kind of that air it out aerial team.
I mean, excuse me, I get what you're saying, and that's fine. And it probably will reduce some of the wear and tear, because, you know, Lamar's going to want to run it X amount of times. Dobbins is going to run it X amount of times. So that really does save his legs as he's getting closer to the end of his career, to make him more valuable. So I guess, you know, in theory, you know, you got Lamar and you got Dobbins, so you're lightning, and then you bring in Henry, he's your thunder, he's your goal line back, you know. So I get it. You know, I don't think his numbers are going to be quite what they were. You know, his numbers are going to go down a little bit, but at the end of the day, man, I mean, it does give them a good, solid running room, and that's what they need to get back to. You know, Baltimore's always been known as a running team, and that does solidify that running game. You're right. You are right.
And we'll stick with the running backs here for a little bit, just because for a position group that's consistently getting lower and lower money because people kind of view the running back as a less valuable position now because of the way the league has kind of transformed. Right. It's been the running back room that has actually kind of been the home run hires in free agency so far. They've been the ones that have been signing with new teams. They've been the ones that have been getting the most money so far outside of a couple of defensive players and obviously the Kirk Cousins deal. But the first running back domino to fall yesterday was the Chicago Bears adding DeAndre Swift, and it was kind of a come out of nowhere deal, in my opinion. You heard the Bears were kind of looking at Josh Jacobs. You heard the Bears were kind of looking at Saquon Barkley, but you never heard DeAndre Swift's name really mentioned with the Bears at all. And not only did he sign with Chicago on a 3-year, $24 million deal, he was the first running back to come off the board, which kind of leads me to believe that maybe Swift was their guy the entire time and they just kind of didn't tip their hat to who they wanted to take. And for a situation where you're either going to have Justin Fields or Caleb Williams as your quarterback for week 1 next year, DeAndre Swift is a nice piece for that offense to kind of build around, because since they lost David Montgomery, they really have not had that every down back that DeAndre Swift is.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I really, you know, to even go a little further with that, on the other side of the coin that traded him, the Eagles, you know, they brought in Saquon to replace Swift. I got to tell you, man, I don't know how you feel about this, but I have a feeling that Philadelphia is going to have at some point buyer's remorse on that one. And I say that only because of the injury fact, right?
Maybe
I don't know that he makes it that long.
Maybe in year 3, I could see them having it. But the one thing that Saquon has now that he did not have in New York is he has before we get to that, welcome aboard, Frankie. How are things for you?
I'm tired, guys. I am tired. I feel like this is the most craziest NFL free agency frenzy that we had to stay on top of.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really is.
We're talking about the Saquon right now going to Philly, and kind of what Jay was saying with Philly having maybe a buyer's remorse. I don't think they get that until year 3, mainly because he has more weapons in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith than he's ever had in New York. He's got a running quarterback in Jalen Hurts more so than Daniel Jones, who can actually throw at times. I mean, this past year he regressed a lot, but you still have Jalen Hurts, who's going to take some of that pressure off of Saquon Barkley. So I think the first 2 years of that deal, I think Saquon will be fine. I think it'll be more so when he gets to year 3 in that deal, where if Nick Sirianni's there, if Nick Sirianni's not there, I think that's when Philadelphia could have some buyer's remorse. But the first 2 years of this deal, I think it's a great pickup for Philadelphia just because he offers you the same thing that DeAndre Swift does. He's just a better running back overall.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just feel like, for Philly, they let go of a great running back who's a hell of a lot healthier, a little bit younger, and a lot cheaper than what they went with Saquon. And I don't know if I want to give up $12 million to a guy that's got 2 bum knees and a little bit older in the tooth. That's why I feel like they're going to have buyer remorse, because I feel like, they spent more money when they got other areas they still got to address. They got to replace Fletcher Cox. They got to replace Jason Kelsey. I mean, there's other spots on that team that they got to address, and you're spending all this money on a guy who could or could not stay healthy.
I guess the biggest difference is that you got to look at too in Philadelphia, Jason, is Saquon Barkley was the focal point of the Giants offense. He was literally the engine that made that offense go, and every team was going to key in on him when he was with New York.
He was the Giants.
Yeah. He's not going to be he's not going to be the focal point of the Eagles offense. You have AJ Brown, you have Devontae Smith, you have Jalen Hurts, you have Dallas Goedert, you still have Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell. Granted, neither one of them are going to be starters at any other team, but Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell give the Philadelphia Eagles a really good running back trio to kind of switch things up a bit. So Saquon's not going to be the focal point of the Eagles offense like he was in New York, and that alone is going to save him because he's not going to have the wear and tear that he had in New York.
Right.
Yeah, now that knee surgery, that knee injury was almost 2 years ago, Jay. And then after he had that knee surgery and he comes back to the NFL, the man put up outstanding numbers, literally outstanding numbers in 2022.
He's
To
the reason why
where
the Giants made the playoffs in
ex-
2022.
I think for
exactly,
I mean,
exactly,
even if
and then the Giants went out and did the most stupidest and dumbest thing that they could ever done. Instead of giving the main person who is your offense the money he deserves, they go and they give it to Daniel Jones.
Mhm.
That's the one biggest mistake that the Giants have done. And I feel like that was the reason why Saquon was like, hell, the hell with it. I'm going to go.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I understand why Saquon left, because why would you want to stay in that dumpster fire and waste away what little of your prime years you got left, right? Because I don't care what anybody says, physically or technically he may be in his mid-20s, but as you all know, the body don't work that way.
Mhm.
When you start tearing ligaments, you start aging at a faster rate. So even though he may be 26, 27, whatever, his body is probably in his 30s right now. Okay, so his window is still a shorter window, right? Due to age and injuries. I'm just saying, look, for $12 million, I guess roughly in that neighborhood, average per year is what they're paying for Saquon. You could have stayed with your boy Swift at $8 million and put the rest of that damn money, because it's a hard cap, right? You could have put the rest of that money shoring up your offense with Jason Kelce gone and that defense. And I just felt like it's just money that they could have put other places.
I mean, they did add Fletcher Cox replacement and Bryce Huff.
Exactly.
And for a 3-year, $51 million deal, and he's only 25 years old, and he's been one of the more underrated edge rushers in the NFL the last few years.
Exactly. And on top of that, they for the last couple of years, we have been noticing and we've been seeing that Jason Kelce was going to retire at some point.
Mm-hmm.
The Philadelphia Eagles organization also was looking at that as well. So about a couple of years ago, they legit went to Jason Kelce and said, we want you to go out and pick us a center for the draft to be your replacement. And that's exactly what Jason Kelce did. He
Yep.
was the one who personally handpicked the center to be his replacement when he's gone. So they're all set on trusting this center to take over for Jason Kelce. And like Stat Guy said, they got Brian Huff to go ahead and take over Fletcher Cox's position, which is an absolute stud performer to go ahead and take. I mean, you're going to have a lot on your shoulders because you're taking over for basically a Hall of Famer in my book. So you got a lot to carry on. But with the Saquon thing, Jay, realistically, and I don't want to go back and forth with you on it, but let's look at the real thing, Jay. Would you rather have DeAndre Swift or Saquon Barkley? Where Saquon Barkley, honestly, to me, played way better than DeAndre Swift did last year. The only difference was Saquon Barkley had Daniel Jones, and he was on a shitty team. Excuse my language. He was on a shitty team with the New York Giants. Daniel Jones didn't even finish the season, and they didn't even know what to do at quarterback. So they said, "What the hell with it? Let's just give Saquon the ball the entire year."
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, it is what it is. I mean, talent-wise, yeah, Saquon's better. From a talent-wise standpoint, no doubt about it. And if he can continue to stay healthy like he has, they use him less, then it may very well be the greatest thing for them, right? I think at the end of the day, it's not really going to matter because Cowboys still going to win the division, and New York's still going to suck, Washington's still going to suck, and it's going to be perfectly fine. Because at the end of the day, they still got Kellen freaking Moore as their offensive coordinator, okay? And I know that guy. He's so predictable, it's stupid.
You know what's different? You know what's different with the Giants, the Commanders, and the Eagles compared to the Cowboys? Each one of those other teams have running backs, and you guys don't.
Yeah.
You know what, though? But that's true. But, and there's always a but, you know that. Because Eckler's still out there, right?
No,
Yeah.
Eckler signed a
gone.
2-year deal with Washington yesterday.
Oh, son of a
Yeah.
All right, well,
And that's where I was going. That's where I was going with next, Jay. You have
hey, I'm not gonna. We'll come back to that one here in just a second because we'll spend some time there too because there's a lot to unpack over in Washington. But at the end of the day, there's still Henry. So I mean, hey, once Henry's off the board, yeah, then I might be panicked. Well, okay, if Henry goes off the board, then I'm hoping Dallas has a really good backup plan in the draft to get us a running back to be somebody, right? They're going to have to go a running back in the first round. They cannot, which is crazy to me because Jerry Jones specifically said that he's going to go all out this year. Well, Jerry, Where the hell is the All Out? Because I ain't seen it yet.
You guys don't have the cap. All the money that you guys literally have is going to Dak Prescott.
Hey, look, that's not
he
my
does not.
problem. This
he
is
does
Jerry's
not wanna-
world. Everything gets washed away in Jerry's world, okay? If he wants to make it
Listen,
happen.
he has the money. He has the money. Yeah, personally, he has the money in his pocket, no doubt about it. But you have to be within the cap space of the NFL
I know,
league.
and that's why, on all honesty, if we don't grab Henry, then I fully expect us to take a running back in that first round.
I think you
expect
need
it
to,
too.
Jay. You need to.
Yeah, and I
Who
think-
else? We're gonna have Jay McLovin at tailback.
Hey, listen, once I get this knee replacement on Thursday, I'll be good to go, coach. Put me in.
I mean,
All I
I
know-
think the two other big surprising moves in the running back market was Josh Jacobs going to Green Bay, which I think
who saw that coming?
I
Yeah.
think that might go down as the biggest pickup so far.
Absolutely.
Because of what he can do to that offense. And then the other one that just happened, an hour ago? Joe
Yeah.
Mixon getting traded from Cincinnati to Houston. And then
So-
Houston
That's the
pulling him to
one
do
I
something.
think right
So-
there. That's
Okay,
the
so
one.
let's break this down here. Did anyone really see Aaron Jones getting released in favor of Josh Jacobs?
I did.
That was a
Oh, I
surprise.
did.
If
I
you
did.
saw his press conference late last night, you could kind of see it coming in. I hate the Packers. I'm not going to sit here and defend the Packers. So this one, I'm actually going to kind of defend Aaron Jones on a little bit.
Oh, because he's your new running back?
No, because everything that Aaron Jones has done for that franchise, he took a pay
No,
cut.
yeah, I agree.
He took
No,
a pay
he's
cut
done
in 2019 so they could extend Aaron Rodgers. He
Right.
took a pay cut last year so they could give Jordan Love kind of that front-loaded 2-year deal.
And let's not forget how good he was in the playoffs.
Yeah, and then Green Bay came to him again this year and asked him not only to take a pay cut, but they asked him to take a 60% pay cut,
Yeah.
Yeah,
going
which
from
that's a slap in the
12
face.
going from $12 million down to $5 million, which is a slap in the face.
No, of course.
And Aaron Jones even said, I would have taken another pay cut. I told Green Bay I would take a 33% pay cut. Guess what a 33% pay cut is?
Mhm.
Exactly the deal that
And-
Josh Jacobs got.
Yeah, I'm about saying, and then when you look
Yeah.
at Jacobs, he's a guy who bet on himself coming into last season. Remember, he was one of the best rushers in the league in 2022. Said, you know what? I'm going to hold on. I'm going to see if I can double my production, get even better, and then I'll get a bag. And my God, I know more than anyone, he had a slow start. He was absolutely awful the first few weeks. He was one of the worst running backs that was on the field.
Mhm.
And then he did gradually pick it up over the later course of the year, which is good. But I mean, season as a whole, though, not great. But like you said, he's going to a situation now with Jordan Love, who surprised a lot of people last year with how good he played, especially in the playoffs, for God's sake. And I mean, that's a pretty good team. I still think they need a little bit of help at the receiving core, but overall, Green Bay looks like a team that could be set up for a good run here in the next couple of years.
And I said it yesterday before they even cut Aaron Jones that the Packers
Melvin.
the Packers instantly had the best running back room in the NFL when Josh Jacobs was signed, because I'm like, you have Aaron Jones and Josh.
And Josh, yeah.
You
And then
could
imagine
literally
that
run-
one.
You could literally run the same offense that Detroit ran last year, where Aaron Jones would be the Jameer Gibbs, where you could flank him out wide at the wide receiver. You could use him in motion. You could
And then you
use
got
him in the
Montgomery.
passing game. And then Josh Jacobs would be the David Montgomery, where he would be your ground and pound type of guy. I'm like, that is something the Packers have never had. And I'm
No,
like,
and-
that receiver group was scary. And then all of a sudden they cut him. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
hell is he doing?
that shocked me whenever I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, Josh Jacobs to the Packers. And then
Yeah,
it came
Aaron
out that Jones got released.
And
Oh,
Aaron
oh.
Jones made a great point too, and I kind of want your guys' opinion on this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because Minnesota signed him to a $7 million deal. So
Which
he
ain't
said,
much more.
he said he would take a 33% pay cut, which was $8 million. The Packers
But he's
wanted him
signed
to
for
go
less.
down. The Packers wanted him to go down to $5 million. If the Packers would have said, "Fine, we'll do $7 million," I guarantee he would still be in Green Bay.
I
But
can see that.
Aaron Jones's thought process was David Bakhtiari and Aaron Jones were the last two players left of the Aaron Rodgers regime.
Yep. And Bakhtiari got cut.
He kind of thinks that Brian Gutekunst just wanted to wipe the entire slate clear of anything that had to do with Aaron Rodgers.
That's kind of what it felt like. And also, I mean, let's be honest, Bakhtiari wasn't healthy last year much at all. I don't think I don't remember if he was the year prior.
No,
But
he hasn't played since January 2020.
Yeah, I mean, because I know he'd been out for quite some time, and he's an older guy. Obviously, he's a veteran. And people
Yeah,
respect him.
that move made sense anyways. But Aaron
Yeah,
Jones
he has
really does
played. But
bring up
Aaron
the point.
Jones, that surprised me, especially with how good he played. I'm
Hey,
just
hold
more
on,
so
Logan.
looking-
I just want to know your thoughts when you realized Josh Jacobs left. Now you
I
do
was
still
sad.
got Zamir White, but
No, of
how do
course.
you feel about that?
Overall, Jay, I was a little bit sad because I mean Jacobs was kind of the last piece of that puzzle all those years ago. I'm not saying they had great success, but I mean, really, when I started, really coming deep with the Raiders and really following them, like high school wise and stuff like that, and so it was a little sad to see him go. Though I ain't gonna lie, but I think that it's going to be interesting, very interesting this year. With them getting obviously Zamir White is looking like their top running back.
Hey,
And
he's
now
from
Gardner
Georgia.
Minshew.
He's
Oh,
from
he is.
Georgia.
He is from Georgia. But I'd say he's right up the road here from me in Athens. So
Yeah.
I'm about to. I hope he does well. The Gardner Minshew deal, I'm still iffy about just because if anything, I think he's going to be a bridge quarterback.
Hey, Justin Fields
Because-
is still available to trade for him if you want him.
Honestly, Dustin, do you think Justin Fields gets traded, or do you think the Bears trade that number 1 overall pick for
No.
some assets?
Bears are going to go to Caleb Williams.
Wait.
Yeah,
So
at
they're
this
gonna
point,
they're
they
gonna
don't- At
trade.
this point, they don't have a choice.
So are they going to trade Fields before draft night or on draft night?
At this point, the only two teams that make sense are Minnesota and Vegas. But I could honestly see a situation where both Caleb Williams and Justin Fields are on that roster at the same time.
Which is idiotic if they do that.
They kind of brought it on that. They kind of brought it on themselves because they should have traded Justin Fields last year.
They should have when he was hot, when he had some I mean, and I think that Fields improved last year as a player, as a pocket passer, and obviously we know his running ability is top tier with the other great quarterbacks in the league. But if you would have traded him last season when the Bears were off to that horrific start, and Fields was playing well as an individual, you could have gotten something out of him. And they still wound up with a 1 overall pick, and you wouldn't have this situation of, okay, do we trade this guy who we've tried to develop over the last couple of seasons, who we've tried to build around, hasn't really worked out great, or do we wipe the slate clean? Do we just go with a brand new quarterback and essentially start over from day one with the pickups that with potentially Caleb Williams is what we're assuming, and the rest of their team who they've got. And I mean, I know they've added who all they've added. They've added
the Bears. Are you talking?
Yeah, they
got DeAndre Swift.
Yep, that was their running back.
They got
which I think is a big upgrade.
They got Kevin Bird to replace Eddie Jackson at safety.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I know it's those two pickups, but those are solid additions. I feel for Chicago. I way rather take DeAndre Swift than
you have one more big move coming too.
And what is that?
Danielle Hunter.
You think he's headed over there?
Yeah, because Minnesota added that Grenard from Houston, who had 13 sacks last year, basically to replace Danielle Hunter. He's 3 years younger than Danielle. He's making basically what Danielle Hunter made last year.
Yeah.
I mean, it clears out the deck, and the Bears right now have pretty much been all in on Danielle Hunter since the start of the offseason, just waiting to see kind of what Minnesota's decision was. So if you pair him with Montez Sweat, I'm really not going to like that.
And so,
I'll tell you what, if they go with Caleb Williams, honestly, if they go with Caleb Williams, after all with as big as his head is right now,
I
just think that's the worst move for Chicago. But it seems like a typical Chicago move. I mean, if you really want a mobile quarterback, go after Jaden Daniels.
And that's going to be interesting, and I think we'll table that as we get closer to the draft. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that is going to be very interesting. And Frankie, I did see something that I know you're going to want to talk about. It said that the Patriots are they're making offers out there to try and get Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys put White out.
Yeah,
you just got your quarterback for next year if you don't draft a quarterback in Jacoby Brissett.
No, come on. You need a quarterback. Jacoby Brissett.
No, we are absolutely –
Bailey Zappi, not a starter.
We are absolutely gonna get a quarterback. I absolutely do not think we're gonna get a quarterback at number 3. I feel like we're gonna get Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 3 if we can get him there. And then we'll probably get a quarterback at the second round. But I would honestly, I'm not gonna lie with you guys. I feel more comfortable with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback than I do with Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi. No lie, I feel 100% comfortable.
I'm about to say Mac Jones is where
He's
did he
going
go?
anyways. He's in
He's
He
Jacksonville.
went to
in
Jacksonville.
See, we already forgot where he's at, and he just got traded.
Hey, Mac Jones sitting on the beach, just chilling, looking
Hey.
at Trevor Lawrence, saying, "Hey,
No, and go ahead.
No, I was gonna say because one thing Jacoby Brissett has shown is that he can be a starter. He's played well with the Colts. He's played well in Cleveland. He's played well those last 3 games in Washington last year. He's just never really had that opportunity where he can be a full-time starter. And the one chance that he had in Indianapolis, he put up good numbers. The team didn't make the playoffs, but Jacoby Brissett didn't play terrible.
No, I mean,
Ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news right now.
Oh, what we got?
It is from Ian Rappaport, and
Yep.
Jay McLovin is not going to like this.
Oh no.
Derrick Henry has signed with the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh,
I saw
Jay,
that coming.
hey, didn't I say that the other week? Didn't I say that? Imagine if Henry goes to
The
run attack, baby.
The Ravens tried last year for a trade with the Titans to get Derrick Henry. It didn't work out. Now they go ahead and they land him during free agency.
Yep.
Derrick Henry gets a 2-year deal, $16 million, worth up to $20 million with a $9 million guarantee.
That's not awful. That's not overpay. I'm not going to say that.
And
I
Jay
mean,
McLovin,
he's older.
appropriate for his age, where he is in his
I think
age
it's appropriate.
career. That's appropriate.
Yeah.
and Jay
I-
McLovin
it's not a
still
reach.
sits here. He still
So,
sits here today
who's
without
left?
a running back on his roster.
Who's left then? Is there any big free agents left? Are you guys going to draft?
Are you talking for running backs?
Yes.
I mean, Alexander Madison, who Minnesota.
No,
Come on,
No, I'm just saying, in terms of running backs,
here.
in terms of running backs who are left, you have Alexander Madison, who has proven that he can't be an every
He's
down
not a
back.
starter. Yeah.
You have Dante Foreman, who was in Chicago last year, which he actually has been a very good running back with the Titans. Because remember, he took over for Derrick Henry that 1 year and did rush for over 1,000 yards with Tennessee. So Dante Foreman has shown that he can at least shoulder the load if you need him to. AJ Dillon's going to be a free agent, but again, he's not going to be kind of that every down back.
Dustin, we're talking about change of pace backs. We're not talking about a primary back. There's nobody you said that, and it's not your fault. There's just nobody out there. Look, let's just be honest.
No, I mean, everyone's pretty much caught up now.
Well, there was top 5 running backs that were available, and they're all gone now.
There were, yeah, but
I mean, as of right now, there's nobody.
no, right now,
I
you're
don't think there's
you're
nobody.
right,
I think I think the best chance for Dallas to get a star running back is going to have to be either trade or they're just going to have to go to the draft. And like I said to Jay a little while ago, the Cowboys have no cap space because Dak Prescott does not want to take a pay cut for some reason, and that's not showing leadership.
No,
Jay, I'm sorry, but
It's
to
not.
show leadership, you got to take pay cuts to improve on your team.
And Jay, I want to get your comments. Is Jerry Jones? No. Jerry Jones said you guys were going to go all in this free agency.
Yeah.
Have you done anything along those lines as a fan?
Man, that man says a lot of things. He's like Joe Biden, man. You know, he up there just being a
Whoa.
He says things. He said, "Hey, hold on, brother."
Whoa, we are going to get canceled today.
No. I honestly, Jay, once I saw the guys were getting wiped up, I thought, Devin Singletary, he ain't there. Zach Moss, he ain't there. Derrick Henry ain't there no more. Austin Eckler went to Washington, for God's sake. You couldn't have got him.
I mean, in all honesty, though, but he had it right. Look, legitimately, we have a hard cap, right? There's no luxury tax.
There ain't no money.
It is what it is. We probably couldn't afford him. So we're going to have to go to the draft.
I draft someone.
And hopefully, we can pick somebody out of the draft, and we'll be. And the good thing for us is most of the draft is, like you said, is going to be quarterback driven, offensive line driven.
Yes, running backs kind of take a back seat in a way.
Yeah, so I do think that a good running back should fall down to us around the 24th spot. So
hold on,
that is the good incentive, right? Is that running backs aren't necessarily going to be the top guys coming off the board quick.
Hold on, Jay. I love the hell out of you, Jay. You're like a brother to me. You are a brother to me. You're the uncle to my daughters. You know that. I'm waiting to go to your new house to have some smoke and barbecue and stuff like that, But I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tell you straight up. You cannot sit there and tell me that Jerry Jones he cannot step up and just say, listen, if you're not going to take a pay cut, you're gone. You're gone. Not to Dak Prescott, but to other people around. You have to release people. You have release Michael Gallup. Make some room.
No, they are. Actually,
You got to get it.
Actually, I think they're trying to trade Michael Gallup. I think is what they're doing, but he is on the block. Like they are trying to move Michael Gallup off the team, so that is out there.
And we will see
You,
what
you,
happens.
you gotta look around other spots, man. You gotta look around like defensive players. You know, I understand.
Yeah,
I understand that you guys got some good players and stuff, but those good players they're costing you right now on some good free agencies.
Mhm. You ain't kidding, man. But it's been a wild free agency.
So I guess
Just
what
far.
do you think of your team's moves so far?
Yeah, and I think this will be
obviously the Raiders got Wilkins.
Yeah, let's give our final thoughts here, and then we'll table this for our next show. For me, man, I think the Raiders have done pretty solid. I love obviously the Wilkins move. Didn't see that coming, but obviously a big jump for their defense. Helps him out on the line. Helps out with Max Crosby as well. And it's weird after watching the Raiders defense suck for pretty much my whole life. It feels like we might be actually doing something. We have a young core, and now when we're getting him from Miami. Sorry, Rob. I think it's going to be a good move, man. I'm looking forward to it. As for the quarterback situation, still not thrilled about it. Aiden O'Connell is and Gardner Minshew, and he has some bright moments, but we'll see if he can hold it down for a full season as opposed to the half year he had for the most part, or the 3 quarters with Indianapolis last year. But I mean, I still think they could do something in the draft. We'll see. I'm curious to see where they'll go, but so far I'm feeling pretty happy. If I had to give them a grade, I'll go with a B so far. I'm pretty impressed. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, heading into last night, I gave Minnesota an A- because we added, obviously, the best edge rusher outside of Danielle Hunter to replace Danielle Hunter. Then we added Andrew Van Ginkel to replace Jordan Hicks, basically a very young and promising linebacker to replace an aging linebacker. Then they added Blake Cashman, another very good linebacker, so they ended up just going full linebacker mode yesterday. We signed John Parker Romo as our kicker this morning to replace Greg Joseph, who was the second worst rated kicker in the NFL the last 2 years. So that was an upgrade. But then we paid $10 million for Sam Darnold. Instead of getting Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston signed an $8 million contract to go to freaking Cleveland to be a backup.
Yeah, I trust.
Why the hell did we not give him $8 million?
I trust James Winston a lot more.
I trust Gardner Minshew, Jameis Winston. This is coming from me. I trust Nick Mullins more than I trust Sam Darnold.
And that's not saying much.
Like, if we're going to give $10 million to somebody, you could have gave it to Gardner Minshew.
Jay, do you want to loan him Trey Lance? I know he's somewhere.
No, I don't want Trey Lance either.
I don't think anyone does.
You should have just re-signed Josh Dobbs.
That's what Josh Dobbs. He's doing something in space right now with NASA. You know,
seriously, if we were going to give a $10 million deal to a quarterback for 1 year, I give it to Gardner Minshew because he's proven that he can hold the fort down for a year. I'd give it to Jameis Winston because he's at least shown when he plays, he can do stuff. And hell, I would have started Nick Mullins because, yes, the guy might turn the ball over 3 times a game, but he's not afraid to freaking fling it. Sam Darnold turns it over 3 times a game and doesn't even throw the damn ball.
Hey, just keep Sam Darnold away from the women out there in Minnesota. We know how his career happened out there.
That was Zach Wilson, not Sam Darnold.
All right, close enough. They're both forgettable. What can I forget? What can I say?
At least I got Aaron Jones out of it though, so I'm at least happy with that pickup.
There you go.
Part 2 will be Thursday.
Yes, part 2 will be Thursday. Frankie, what's your thoughts on the Patriots' move so far? I know you've cut a few people. You've got a few people. It's been kind of a mixed bag. What's your thoughts, though?
I kind of like what Gerard Mayo and the Patriots are doing, honestly. It's not big things, like Derrick Henry or Tony Pollard or Saquon Barkley. We got Ramondre Stevenson coming back. That's our running back. And we got a good running back number 2 behind him in Antonio Gibson from Washington. We signed him to a couple years, so we got a solid pickup there. We did cut ties with Devontae Parker. We are looking for suitable offers for Juju Smith-Schuster, so I suspect that he's not going to be on the team much longer as well. And as you guys know, we're looking to try and get Calvin Ridley. That will be a good solid pickup. We also did get some tight ends. We did re-sign Michael Owinu, who we actually truly needed on that offensive line to protect our quarterback, and then picking up a free agent from who played from Pittsburgh. I'm not 100% on his name. I don't want to say it because I don't want to sound stupid. But I will get to it before the season starts. I will know it. I will love it, and I will understand it. But we got some good key pieces, and I think we got more to. I think we got more to come. We have a lot of money in cap space, unlike the Cowboys. But I feel like we'll get some.
Shot.
I feel like we'll get some players that we need to get.
Hey, he has all that cap space to pick up scrubs and feel good about it. So
hey, Jay, I don't know if you got the room to talk right now, man. I don't know. You ain't.
I have all the room to talk. We're not picking up scrubs.
Hold on. You're not picking up scrubs. You're not picking up nobody, Jay. Because you have no money.
I'm about to say you ain't picking up no one.
But if we had the cap space, we wouldn't be going after scrubs.
Hey.
Listen, you could have went out and got Antonio Gibson for cheap money, but you can't. You want to know why? Because you got a quarterback you're paying for $60 million a year just to lose to the Packers again in the wild card.
Frankie, hold on. Frankie, what would you give as a letter grade for the Patriots at this moment?
I'll give him like a C.
All right. Jay, you don't even get a grade. You get the note that says "Meet me after class" because y'all got to talk about what's going on out there, man. Y'all got to get something going. Y'all got to speak on it.
Hey, listen,
you got to get a parent-teacher conference with Jerry.
Yeah, Dak, you son of a.
I didn't. I was gonna say I gave the Vikings an A- heading into last night. They went from an A- to a C because of that Sam Darnold pickup.
All right. Well said.
Any other quarterback, they would have stayed right in the B+ range, but because they paid $10 million to a guy who lost his job to the second worst quarterback statistically the last 3 years, then he goes to Carolina and can't start. Yeah, that's a problem.
It's free agency. There's been a lot going on in just the last 24, 36 hours, give or take. And it's only going to keep getting crazier here in the next couple of days.
Are we all in agreement, though, that Kirk Cousins has the best agent in NFL history?
Hey, that man is an elite negotiator. Elite negotiator.
Hey, all I know is watch out for Atlanta next year. I think Atlanta's going to, or this year, I should say, Atlanta's going to, I think they're going to come out the door swinging for the fences.
Yeah, they had a Darnell Mooney today, too.
I did say last year when we had that guy on from Atlanta, I did say that Atlanta was just a quarterback away from being playoff contention. They got one hell of a quarterback in Kirk Cousins. I think they're set. They're going to go do phenomenal things there. But let's not also look the other way. They still have to go up against Baker Mayfield and the Bucs, who still has who brought back Mike Evans. They brought back Baker Mayfield. I feel like they're gonna, that's gonna be a real good competition between those two teams. But also, the Saints are still in there as well with Derek Carr. The one
who took that pay cut?
Exactly, and the one thing that kind of ruins it for them is not having Michael Thomas there. Michael Thomas.
He wasn't really there though. He wasn't really there.
He wasn't, but he was there last year.
I think that actually helps them, though, because now the Saints are expected to pursue that Brian Thomas out of LSU.
Yeah.
On that note, let's put a pin in it and save the rest of it for part 2 of this discussion.
You're going to have to stay tuned. And like we said, turn on notifications. Follow us on the social media channels you see up here on the screen, Facebook, X, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. And also check us out on LinkedIn and our podcast as well, so you don't miss a single bit of knowledge of all the stuff that breaks across the NFL. And we'll be covering here. And like I said, we've got part 2 coming up in just a couple of days. So stay tuned. It's going to be a fun show. All right, guys, any final words before we get out of here?
No, sadness.
Jason, I hope I have better luck in part 2.
It's funny. It's funny when Jay does that side.
When Jay sighs, puts his head down.
When he does that, I feel like only you, Logan, myself, and Dustin truly knows
the pain
deep inside. We know what he wants to say but won't say.
Because Jay's trying to keep it family friendly, which we appreciate. But once we end the video here, Jay will be he'll be letting us hear it.
Yeah, he's gonna go off.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. But guys, Frank, do you have any final thoughts?
Nah, I really don't, man. Spring training is almost up.
That's true.
Regular season of MLB is coming up.
Get rested up, Garrett Cole.
It's gonna yes, please rest up. I got good news on Garrett Cole. His MRI came back negative. So
all right, good for you.
I feel like he just needs to rest. Don't pitch no more in spring training.
Nah, just chill.
I don't understand why the hell they're even having him pitch in spring training.
Not anymore.
But
See, I'm kind of with Frankie. I'm at the point now where like
I know
people
you
that you know are going to be on your roster.
What's the point?
Just give them like 2 starts before the regular
Yeah,
season.
get
Have
them
them, like
2
all their
starts for, like-
off-field workouts until like the final week, and then be like start here, and go.
Hell, I had to scare Acuna a couple weeks ago, but he'll be
Hey,
fine.
real quick.
Go ahead.
Hey, make sure you guys are checking us out on YouTube and subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can see it right there at ESCN Network. So go over to our YouTube and give us a like and a subscribe. And also make sure you continuously check out tomorrow's debut show of Truth Be Told Sports Podcast
Right.
with Melvin Johnson and his crew. You're going to like them. Hollow Point, White Mike. I love that name. Check those guys out. They're on Tuesdays, and they'll also be on Roku Tuesdays from 3 to 5 Eastern. Check 'em
All
out.
right. It's going to be a fun time. But, guys, enjoy the rest of your nights. Let's see what our teams can do in these next few days. And like I said,